So the word is around town that you don't want to play seismic traps, and although I want to give you some problems for not wanting to play the best build that there is, there's another build that is also the best build, which is called Skeleton Mages. Now, if you're wanting the #1 summoner build this league, and the #1 summoner build last league that was extremely popular, especially early on, can scale to super high heights, is relatively straightforward, has one of the best leveling skills in the entirety of the game right now, which is Absolution, then Skeleton Mages might be the alternative choice that you're looking for if you want to make the mistake of not playing Seismic Traps. However, be warned, this is a summoner build, so you're going to have to put up with all of the difficulties of playing a summoner build, like it being a summoner build, and it being a summoner build, you playing a support character, and it being a summoner build. It's pretty much all the downsides, everything else is positives. So remember, boys, if you're enjoying the content, give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest videos. And without further ado, let's get into it. Alright boys, so once again, just going to give you a warning that this is not a build guide. The whole purpose of this video is to get you to go and watch that video. That's a video of my 3.17 summoner guide for Skeleton Mages. It's completely fine for 3.18 as there's going to be absolutely no balance changes. So you should go watch that video, and if you need a little bit more convincing, let's show you a random map. So I want to show you real quick, this character is not using any crazy gear. This is a 5-link Fleshcrafter. We've got just a +1 trigger minion wand. I do have a +1/+1 here, but I took it off just for you. And then we've got a random +1 zombie skeleton helmet. We have a recover life unblock shield, Alberon's warpath, and a +1 skeleton strength stat amulet, essentially. Nothing crazy here. If we look at the skill tree, we have our Dead Reckoning jewel. I don't even have a jewel in that slot. We've got our Blessed Rebirth, some very, very basic jewels. I don't even have a jewel in that slot either, so we're struggling a little bit with this character at the moment. Got our Uber Lab done, but besides that, there is no crazy gear here whatsoever. This is very, very basic gear, and we are going to do a tier 16 cemetery map. Everything is finally moved over, so we can go into our tier 16s. Now, this is the character that I played in 3.17. This is my league starter. Now, I didn't take this very far because there were other builds that I wanted to play, but you'll see the whole idea of this build is you simply pop down some skeletons and they clear everything for you. Now, the big thing about this build is that it is a minion build, so you do get the benefit of just popping your minions down and letting them do the work for you. They take most of the brunt of all of the enemies, they can clear pretty well, they can boss pretty well. The basic playstyle is you just kind of run around, you place down your skeletons like totems, and they auto-fire for you. This is, think of like a totem build, but you've got some extra boys to help you out. You're not alone in the forest and the cemeteries with your, sticks of wood. You've actually got some undead minions that'll do some stuff for you as well. Now, the big thing about this build and the reason why I moved away from it so quickly is just because I don't really like the minion playstyle, and that's the only reason. This build is extremely powerful. It can scale way higher than what I have it here. I mean, this is literally like only just a 5-link Fleshcrafter. I don't even have the big boy minion helm or anything like that. Oh, I think that's a Beyond mob that I just stood in his explosions. All right, so here you go. You can pop Vol Summon skeletons, and as long as you are near the boss, it does pretty respectable damage. Now, we'll show you the actual boss after I get my Vol Summon skeletons back up. But the idea is that this is mainly an encounter-based build. So if you're looking to farm things like Ritual, if you're looking to do things like the Simulacrum once you invest a little bit more gear into it, and you want just a very, very easy path towards, some bossing early on in the league, and you don't want to play Seismic Traps, then you can play a build like this where you can kind of just put your minions down and they do damage for you. This is a tier 16 map. My Atlas is as it is here because I haven't set anything for standard yet. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to the character. Very good for early farming. You level as Absolution, which is really super solid all the way up into red tier maps. And the only thing that you really need to get this build functioning, the only thing that you need to swap out of Absolution is essentially this Dead Reckoning jewel. And I would suggest that you do get a minion cluster jewel with Blessed Rebirth. If you have those two things, you can probably swap. Now beyond that, the build is ridiculously tanky. It is a build that gets a lot of block. It gets some pretty good life. It's got a bunch of minions that are going to block and take damage for you. Pretty good resistances. Most other things are pretty solid. This build does use Defiance Banner as well as Tempest Shield as well as Determination. So you're going to be scaling some armor. You can get a lot more armor than this if you really did push it pretty far, but that's the idea behind the build. Relatively tanky, good damage, can scale absolutely to the stars if you decide to go with like the full minion helmet and everything like that. But that's pretty much it for the build itself. Now, as I've told you many times, make sure that you just go and watch the build guide from 3.17. It's going to have way more information than this video is going to have. And if you aren't convinced, then maybe look forward to some of my less than ideal league starters that are coming sometime soon. And that is going to be it for the video. This is an alternative to the Seismic Trap Overlords that I feel that you just should go ahead and be. Mapping and bossing are both going to be pretty powerful this league, and the Skeleton Mage Summoner can do a little bit of both, particularly encounter-based kinds of things. Now, do keep in mind, there is one massive downside to Skeleton Mages, and I'm going to be upfront with you. It's invitations. Skeleton Mages do not like invitations until you put some pretty heavy work into the gear. Once you do put some pretty heavy work into the gear, invitations, the high-end Uber bosses, pretty much everything in the game is going to be an absolute joke, but you do got to spend that money, get that minion helmet on your head, as well as some good jewels and other things. I didn't even have my jewels equipped on this character, and jewels are a massive part of the character's power. So remember, boys, if you're enjoying this content, give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest videos, and stay safe out there in raid class. And I'll see you guys in 3.18 Sentinel League.